guys, welcome back. I'm Lacey with A&B Insurance, and this is Carl with Man Cave Munchies. He is a really great cook. Oh my gosh, when I had your food at the party we had, it's delicious. My favorite thing, the guilt-free cookies.
Yeah.
Those were so good. Oh my gosh, I've not forgot about them.
You have to go check out my easiest pie.
I will check
recipes.
that out on your YouTube channel. It's awesome channel, you guys. I totally recommend at least checking it out. There are some great recipes on there that will not fail at all.
And I've got a lot of different. If you go to the website, actually, there's tabs in there, so you can do barbecue, you can do beer recipes, you can do Italian recipes, Cajun recipes, but. One of the things we were talking about before the show was barbecues.
Yeah.
Because I can remember my dad when I was a kid. We had everybody had charcoal grills back then.
Sure.
Now we got charcoal and gas. But the thing is, what he would do is he would take the bag of charcoal and and then hose it with lighter fluid, light it, and this mushroom cloud would fire up, and then he'd start to try to barbecue, and he was wondering why the coals would go out and he'd have to restart it. The problem is most people don't realize. With charcoal, you really need to wet it, let it sit for 20 minutes, throw a match, let it bank for 20 minutes.
Yes.
Then put your grill on, put your charcoal on, put your meat on, and start cooking.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And that's just one of the steps to your grill safety when it comes to cooking outside with your family this summer. Everybody's going to be out there grilling. Everyone's going to be out there cooking. And me and Carl are here to give you some tips on how to at least stay safe with your grilling this summer.
The point is, if your coals go out, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to hose it down, and then you're going to throw the match, and then you're going to get the big flare up, and that can singe your brows. I mean, my dad singed a tree one time doing that.
Sure.
So it throws off a lot of heat. And anytime you're working with charcoal or anything where it's an open flame, it's a hazard zone. And it's not only a hazard zone, but if you light it up and then walk away from it, and you put like meat on there and you walk away from it, I mean, it's going to attract kids, it's going to attract your pets. You don't want it just touching that grill could, give them a really bad burn really quickly.
Absolutely. You need to be very careful and very diligent when you have a grill or any type of open fire outside going when you're cooking this summer. One of the biggest things that you need to make sure you have is that you're keeping it away from other structures that could catch fire, which is going to be many different things. You need to make sure that it's not directly under, very close to the house, or directly over, or directly under an overhanging tree that has limbs that are very
dead.
Yeah, that are dead, not very green, lots of moss. That stuff can catch fire and be a much bigger problem than just a small grill fire.
Oh, yeah. You also have to even be careful about what you're wearing.
Absolutely.
You might have here comes the cook apron.
Sure.
But if, you bend over to do something, because a lot of times when you're cooking and you're turning meat over, you'll have a little flare up. I mean, that could easily catch your clothes on fire.
Sure. And guys that wear the really nice shirts that have the arms that hang down on the front, those can catch fire really quickly. You don't pay attention how close you are, and it's dangling a few inches down. It could catch fire on you, so you want to be careful with your wardrobe choice when you're cooking on the grill.
Right, and like I said, you also want to make sure there's like an exclusion zone. If the kids are playing, you don't want them playing right next to it, because God forbid they bump into it, because not only can they get burned, but they can also knock it over, and of course that'll set everything close to it on fire.
So you need to make sure you set up a boundary line around the grill that everyone knows they can't be in while the grill is on and active.
If you're going to be cooking over an open flame, for God's sakes, have a fire extinguisher nearby.
Absolutely.
Because even the meat can catch fire.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And when that does, people panic and they'll do something really stupid that'll extend the fire. The first thing you want to do when something like that happens is shut off the oxygen, so close the lid on the grill.
Absolutely. And if it's a gas or propane grill, try to turn off the source of the gas or the propane if it's safe for you to do so.
Yeah, well, and let's talk about that, because I remember my brother, he lives on the beach, okay? And you know what the problem with the beach is? You got salt.
Absolutely.
And even though he's got a stainless steel grill, one of the gas grills, okay, all the fittings were in stainless steel. And he found out the hard way, because one time he went to turn on the grill and he heard thunk. The burner fell out.
Oh, no. Gracious.
And a lot of times if you're leaving, because, most of your gas grills, you're not going to drag them into the garage. They live outside. So, the weather, the heat, the rain, all that has an effect on them.
Sure.
And what happens is a lot of times is that the hoses get brittle. So the first thing I tell people if they're going to use a gas grill, before you actually turn the grill on, turn the nozzle on, the valve on top of the can, and listen.
Right.
Because you should not hear or smell any gas until you turn the burner on.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's another big thing is always make sure there, if you have any big leaks on the lines that are leading in, propane can be very dangerous, and it has a significant smell that you know if you have a leak
They
coming
do that
on.
on purpose.
Yes, they do it on purpose, so
Right.
you know it's there. I actually worked for U-Haul years ago, and
Right.
part of my job was filling propane tanks, and we went through 3 weeks of safety training and 2 different tests to actually make
Well,
sure
that can
that
is
it's
actually
safe.
a bomb.
Absolutely. It can't be under pressure. It can't be under any significant heat
Yeah.
source. You need to be very careful when you're even transporting your propane tank from the fill station to your
Sure.
home and then to the grill. It's very important, and it can cause a fatality if misused.
Absolutely. Plus the fact, like I said, when you're cooking, you should not smell gas.
No, absolutely
Because
not.
if you're smelling gas, that means it's coming out of somewhere it shouldn't be, because when the gas comes out of the burner and the burner is lit, it burns off all that gas. You should not smell it.
Right, right. It
You
should
know.
be no propane odor whatsoever.
And if you haven't used your gas grill for a while, here's a tip, okay? Get a big bucket of soapy water, okay? Soap down not only the grill, but soap down the lines, and then turn on the valve, because if there's any gas even a little bit percolating out of a pinhole, you'll see little bubbles forming.
Oh, okay.
on the
That's
line.
very smart. Very, very smart.
Because I would always recommend doing it at the beginning of the season before you start using it, because that's
Sure.
when you're most likely to detect
Sure.
these little pinholes. And if again unchecked, this could result in a fire or an explosion.
Absolutely. And that leads to actually another really great thing is keeping the grill clean. Making sure you don't have any leftover fats, juices, oils, anything stuck to it
It will catch fire.
that will catch fire as soon as you turn it on. You never know what that can lead to. Plus, you want to keep it clean so you can make sure your food is good next time.
There's one other safety feature we got to talk about:
Sure.
carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide is very important.
Right, because I've seen people that will actually, they have like an enclosed, screened-in porch, but if it goes up and that roof leads into the house, you're basically sucking. You're going to end up sucking the carbon monoxide into your house. When we
Yes.
have the hurricanes and everybody's power goes out, I've seen people cooking inside their garage. It's like,
Yes.
are you crazy?
You should never cook indoors in
Even
any
with the door
kind
open,
of
it should get
structure.
in. Right.
You should always cook outside in an area with no walls surrounding it, whether it's a screen or an actual structured wall. You should always be grilling out in the open with nothing close to you that can catch fire.
Yeah.
Ventilation is also very important. If you're cooking in the garage, it could lead into the home.
Right.
If you're cooking in the screen patio,
Yeah.
it could lead into the home. It could get in a lot of different ways. That's a very good thing to bring up.
One other tip, okay, and this is one that most people don't realize, because like let's say you have a lot of people if they have like a charcoal grill, they'll take it in and out of the garage when they use it. Okay, well if you're not careful when you take all the charcoal out, if that coal hasn't gone completely out, it could have a tiny little ember inside it.
Yes.
And you take that and you put it in a bag and you throw it in your trash can, and your trash can is plastic, and you go to bed.
Yes.
You could have a very rude awakening when that trash can catches fire and starts to set your house on fire.
Yes.
So I always tell people, if you're done with the coals, leave them outside until the next day.
Yes,
Because by the next, and
absolutely.
then stir it just to make sure it's not warm. Because all it takes is one little spark in there, and Sparky loves it when you put him in touch with, some oxygen
Sure.
and some combustibles, which your trash can is full of.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you want to be very careful when, again, my motto is man, fire good. Well, you got to be careful when you're handling fire.
And one of the last most important things to know when you're out there grilling is to make sure that the grilling device that you're using is stable and that it's in one place, isn't tilting or moving or shaking or rocking in any way, because the slightest tip or touch could make that thing just go right over, and then everything is on the ground, including those precious steaks.
Yeah,
So
well, not to mention the burning charcoal.
the burning charcoal
Right.
is terrible, but the steaks are the
Oh,
tragedy.
yeah. This is true.
Absolutely.
So enjoy the summer, enjoy your backyard barbecues, and be safe.
Yeah, thanks for coming and talking grill safety with us today, Carl. We appreciate you coming out and giving us the 101 on it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, and if you want some really cool recipes, mancavemunchies.com.
Absolutely.